Hey everybody, it's me, it's Constance with Charming Custom Crafts, and guess what? I'm going to be teaching a lesson. Yay! And this is Capri Marci from La Craft Stamps. You guys can look it up. I had a request how to do blonde hair, and I thought what better way to show you how I can use my hand by doing this lesson. Now, what I have here is my Prismacolor markers I got for my birthday. I didn't get for my birthday. I spent my birthday money on it. Anyway, I have Tulip Yellow, which is 21. I have Canary Yellow, which is 19. I have Sunburst Yellow, which is 17. And I have Yellow Ochre, which is 18. Actually, I should go this way, technically. But because I like the color in this way, if you can see how it works on coloring, I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's lighter to darker. It's the way I have them. Generally, when you do marker coloring, it's all about, most of the markers are in stages, and even with the Copics, they have a series, and they're all symboled out. There's a reason why they're numbered, unless they're the later series, but if you sit down and you can figure it out, and my biggest thing that I tell you guys is sit down, do a spreadsheet color chart. Some of the websites do have where you can go and just print it out. What I'm going to do in this first video is I'm just going to do it with yellow. And as I go through the stages, it's all going to be separate. Like the clothes will be different, that's going to be different. We're just going to do the hair first. And then at the end, I'm going to show you how I shade with grays. And grays, to me, do everything. You can have one color of these yellows and have the grays, and you'll be great. Now, what I usually do is I go in, and this is a fine tip at the top, and it does have the broad at the end. I don't use the broad. And matter of fact, I actually will use the broad to get the bulk of it. I just put lotion on, so it's a little harder for me to... So I'm just going to go in real quick. And I'm going to color all of the hair to the point where I have to use the fine tip. Now, depending on if you do it the way the Copics does it, the way Copics does it is an anime design coloring. And I'm not a big fan of anime myself, but that's how they color. Just so that you know that. If you go and look at anime cartoons, it is pretty much the same way with the whole shiny thing. I personally like the realistic coloring. That's me. And I'm not so worried about perfect. Okay, remember this is Tulip Yellow. What I do generally is I go every other color on when it comes to the shading degree. I mean, this could have been 22, 20, 18, and 16 for as far as I'm concerned. But I just grabbed every other color. And it doesn't matter, and it looks a little dull right now, but this is just your background coloring. And I know that everybody's got videos out on coloring, but I don't know if anybody actually explains some of this stuff. I don't follow everybody. I try to keep up with most of the people that that has a page that's on my page, and I'm just going in. And it really doesn't matter if it's really done in there, and you guys will see towards the end. And all I did was a basic fill-in. I know she looked kind of scary, doesn't she? So that was 21 Tulip Yellow. Now I'm going to go in, and I'm going to do the opposite. We're going to leave this here. We're going to go from darker to lighter. And you'll see what I'm doing that. I'm going to go around the edges, and I'm just going to pull up. You see me doing this. I'm just pulling up. I really don't like this color. You'll see it more, but this is going to give you that golden color. It's not going to give you that bright sunny color. This is the colors I just happen to pick, depending on what degree of every other. You know, you're going to see them go brighter with this. Now this will help me with my strands that I'm planning on doing with this, and you'll see that towards the end. And again, I'm not so worried about being so perfect because it's not going to matter because of all the shading degree that I'm going to be doing. Again, I'm just going in and I'm just doing a quick feathering effect. That's basically what I'm doing with this. Everything will blend through at the end. Now, if you can see, you can't really tell, but it's there. I'm doing the same way up in here. Just imagine, because I know it's hard to tell, especially when it's still kind of wet. And I'm just doing a feathering thing. It doesn't have to be perfect. Again, you're going to see how this works out at the end. Now you're going to go around the ear, and you're going to do the same thing as if it's the end of the hair. And you're just going to go in here And I'm just going to go over that. Now, here, if you can see where the various hair movements is, you're going to go in and do the same thing. Everybody's all excited, and this hurts, so I have medicine in me otherwise. But I have to use my hand as much as possible, though I will go back into my brace when this is over, my cast. It's a removable cast, that's why it's called an FRC. Now, if you see, I'm starting to match up with where I started. And again, I'm coming over to this side. And I know the lighting's not that great. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so you can't totally tell, and I'll show you here. And I'll put this one over here. But you can see where it's sort of darker, and you can see the strands, and I know you can see it about right there. So now I'm going to take the Sunburst. Yeah, Sunburst. And this has a thicker tip. Now watch how I do this. I'm going to go in and do the same thing. I may have to go and get my colorless, and I know a lot of you are trying to figure out the colorless marker, and it's not for what you think it is. A lot of people have the misinterpretation of that. Now I'm going in and I'm just going underneath it, and it's going to pull through more on that one because I know that canary is like super bright. Actually, I might go ahead and just totally show you this with the grays. This is definitely going to be a 2-part. And this one's just going to be hair, blonde hair. This one I have figured out pretty well. It took me a while to get the browns right. The blacks were, the shades of black was easy, but the browns were really difficult for me because like my kids have dark hair and I'm very anal about being accurate. Now as long as these are still wet, they will blend very well. I mean, you don't want to start and stop. You want to make sure you're still going while you're coloring. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but it's there, okay? Now, this yellow one's like super yellow. And I'm just going to go in. And now I'm getting a little bit more picky. I'm staying more around the base of where I'm starting. And this will pop more. I think I will go ahead and show you how to do the grays in the hair, because it's going to pop. And you can start seeing where I did, you can see a little bit of a lighter color in the middle. And this is where it starts giving you the shade coloring. Again, depends on what markers you have. You can use 2 colors of yellow and then like your 3 or 4 colors of gray and it'll work. But you can start to see where it starts to lighten up in the middle when you start going darker and deeper in the ends. I like doing all over a light color, like you saw me do. And then I like to go in and start at the edges through here and up around the hairline and down through the hairline and go dark to light again. Because that way when you get to the middle, it does look naturally shiny. And again, I personally prefer natural shading degree. Now, if you don't like this, and I'm going to give you a little tip here, this is where you can use your colorless. Let me grab that real quick and show you. Now, the colorless in the Prismas is 121. Now, you can use the fine tip, and you can do more of the hairline structure. I mean, you'd have to go in and do it 3, 4, 5 times to get it. And you can see it, but it takes some time, especially on the blonde. And it will show more streaks. It's almost like a highlight on blonde hair. And I like, I'll go in and I'll do a couple. Now, that's one way to show, like, highlights, okay? And it's like natural highlights like we all get in our hair. Or that's if you want to do it at the back edges where it's dark. Or if you really want that look, I would go in with the broad tip. And I would go into the middle part and just do a little bit. Just a little bit of the colorless to give you that more lighter look. And all it does, it's a colorless color, and it just will thin out the color. It's what it does. It's also like an eraser if you go outside the line. And I'm trying to hurry because it's about to be over. And the next video will be on using grays on the hair. But if you see it, it does shine it up. Part 2.